Namaskar and good morning to all. So today we are going to deal the first chapter of Democratic Politics 2 textbook in political science for class 10. So the first chapter here is power sharing. So in this video and in this chapter we are going to deal with the significance of power sharing through the stories of Belgium and Sri Lanka. So before starting the slide or before starting the video, I'd like to request student to go through the stories, the case studies of Belgium and Sri Lanka. After that it may be more helpful to you. So here briefly I have described here the size, the physical features of Belgium and Sri Lanka. So let's start with the Belgium. The size of Belgium is smaller than Haryana, an Indian state. So the size of Belgium is very smaller than our Indian state Haryana. It shares its border with France, Netherlands, Germany and Luxembourg. Whereas we know that Sri Lanka is our neighboring country. So the size of Sri Lanka is the same as Haryana, just few kilometers away off the southern coast of Tamil Nadu. So why these two countries were compared? Because the situation which was there in these two countries was same earlier, but the procedures which has been taken by these two countries to settle the conflict was different. So the consequences was also different. That's why there is a comparative study of these two countries. So now we think that the basic question arise here is why power sharing is desirable, why power sharing is important. So here I have written especially two reasons for which power sharing is important. One is prudential reason, another one is moral reason. So as per the prudential reason, it helps to reduce conflict between various social groups as it allows weaker section too to participate in the government. And as per the moral reason, it upholds the spirit of democracy. The citizen can come together to debate and criticize the policies of the government so that it can create a pressure. In India, it often happens that people come together to debate and criticize the certain policies of the government which used to create a pressure to the government. So here in another slides we are going to deal it in detail. So for prudential reason, I have written here 3 points. So why power sharing is desirable? As per the prudential reason, it avoids conflict between different social groups. This is very true that if the person from all communities participate in government, there may be the minimum chances of conflict between social groups. Sometimes the absence of power sharing can result in the division of a country also. That's why power sharing among different communities is very important. Another one, imposing will of the majority on minority might appear to be an attractive option, but it can be a counterproductive and can come in a way of national integration as it happened in Sri Lanka. So in Sri Lanka also what happened is the majority, that is Sanal speaking people, they try to impose their religion, language and culture to the minorities, that is Tamils. Later on what happened, there was a civil war broke out. The tyranny of the majority brings ruins. The tyranny of the majority brings ruins both to the minority and the majority, as in Sri Lanka. So as in Sri Lanka, when that civil war broke out, both minority and majority suffered equally. So that's why power sharing is very desirable. Now, as per the moral reason, again I have quoted here 3 points. And the first one is power sharing is the very essence of democracy. In an ideal democracy, as many people as possible should get a chance to enjoy power. People are affected by all the policies of democratic politics and they have to live with the facts. Hence, citizens need share in power. A legitimate government is one where citizens through participation acquire stake in power. So these are the two reasons, moral and prudential reasons of why power sharing is desirable. So moving towards the next, there are different forms of power sharing. So what are the different forms of power sharing? I have quoted here the four forms of power sharing. So let's start with the first one. Power sharing among different organs of government, that is the legislature, executive and judiciary. The second one, power sharing among different levels of government, that is central, state and local bodies. Power sharing among different social groups such as religious or linguistic groups. And in various ways, political parties, pressure groups and movements can also influence the government. So let's discuss one by one in detail. So the first one is power sharing among different organs of government. This is also called horizontal or check and balance system. So power sharing among different organs of government means power sharing among legislature, executive and judiciary. As we know that legislature is law making body, executive is law implementing body and judiciary comprises courts and all. So each of these organ is placed at the same level to exercise different powers. None of them has unlimited power, thus maintain balance. Each one of them keeps watch on the functioning of the other two, hence it is called check and balance system. So from this we know why this power sharing among different organs of government is check and balance system, because none of them has unlimited power, thus maintain balance. That's why one can check another, hence it is called check and balance system. So this is also called horizontal power sharing. So the second one is vertical power sharing. That means the sharing of power among the different levels of government. Different levels of government means in top here I have written central government, state government and local bodies. So the central government is set up for the whole nation. As you all know that central government is also called union government and it is set up for the whole nation, whole country. The state provincial government is set up for each provinces or states. So in each and every state there is a regional government or provincial government or a state government. We know that the central government transfer shares some of the powers with the state government, as in Belgium. So if we read the story of Belgium in detail, there we get that the central government used to transfer or share some of the powers to the state government. So in India also it often happens that central government has given some of the power to the state government so that state government can implement that power independently. In a big country like India, this type of two-tier system is not sufficient. Now this one is very important. In Belgium, the central government and state government two-tier system used to work very effectively. But in India, in a country like India, the big country, as compared to Belgium, this two-tier system is not sufficient. That's why in India we have third tier, another government, the third tier, that is called local self-government. So both the central and state government have to transport power and resources to the local bodies or local self-government, so that local self-government can use that resources and power in the ground level. So this is vertical power sharing. So the next one here is power sharing among different social groups. Here on top I have focused on women, SCs and ST. You will get reason when we go through all these points. Socially weaker section also have to have share in power. So the person who is socially weak, they also have to have share in power. uh, so again, there was a community government in Belgium which was the example of this type of power sharing. So in India, there is nothing like community government. In India, it is done by the way of reservation. So in India, constituencies and seats are reserved for women, SC and ST. So power is shared among different social groups so that the candidates from women, candidates from SC, candidates from ST can also participate in the government. So this is a power sharing among different social groups. Now the last one here is power sharing among political parties, pressure groups and movements. So in the top I have pasted the symbol of two political party, that is Bharatiya Janata Party BJP and INC Indian National Congress. So these two are the major political parties of India. So let's start. No political party enjoy power forever. So we know that in every 5 years in India, a political party has to contest election or win election to get power. So no political party enjoy power forever. It is for the people to decide who should be in power. So through voting or through vote, people elect government. So it depends upon the people that which political parties is going, which political parties should be in power. Electoral politics ensures that different parties enjoy power at different intervals. With the emergence of coalition government, many parties share power at the same time. Now, this one is very important. By forming coalition government, sometimes when there is no any absolute majority to form government, like recently it happened in Maharashtra, so there was no any political party which got absolute majority. That's why they formed coalition government out there. In that coalition government, there are three parties: Shiv Sena, Indian National Congress, and NCP. These three parties form a government, coalition government, and at the same time in the government, these three parties are sharing the power. Pressure groups and movements have shared in power by exerting pressure on the government. So sometimes the pressure groups and the movements led by different personnel, they also put pressure into the government. Like earlier what happened was Anna Hazare led a very famous movement which puts pressure to the government. They exert pressure by various means and get policies framed in their favor. So they put pressure by various means, by conducting rallies, by conducting strike. So they put pressure on the government and finally get policies framed in their favor. So these 4 points which we have discussed here are the forms of power sharing. So moving towards the next, here I already told you that you have to read the case study of both Belgium and Sri Lanka. Here very briefly I have written the comparative study of Belgium and Sri Lanka. So in Belgium what had happened was power was shared among different communities. Equal opportunities were given to every community. So as a result there was peace in Belgium. Just opposite in Sri Lanka, what happened was power was enjoyed by the majority only. Only majority enjoyed the opportunities. So as a consequences, civil war broke out and the whole country suffered. So thank you. Again, I shall come with another video of second chapter. So till that time, stay home, stay safe.